we have a high security safe, an Arduino, and a fingerprint sensor. What do you think's going to happen next?
Is that it?
Firstly, apologies for my voice. Some of you have followed me for a few years or know I've had various operations on my vocal cords. They're not the strongest in the world, and a few weeks ago I caught a really horrible non-COVID cough and had it for some weeks, and it's just shattered them basically. So I really do apologise for the quality of the voice on this video. However, so we've got the fingerprint sensor, an Arduino to control it. We have a safe, so let's put our finger on the sensor and see what happens. And there we go, the safe opens. And inside there's a little servo motor which is also being controlled by the Arduino. I'm not going to go into that. I will supply and upload the code for all this with the servo motor and the fingerprint sensor. But in today's episode, all we bother about is the basics of how you store fingerprints, read them, and then it's up to you how you act on that information that you've read. In a nutshell, for this design, the fingerprint sensor stores the fingerprint itself under control of the Arduino. This will scan when it detects a fingerprint on the screen and return a result to the Arduino, whether it's found a valid stored fingerprint or not. If it has, then this will then send some signals to a small servo motor, which you can't quite see, it's just at the back of there, but it connects to this pole to here, which then pushes open the door. To power the servo motor, just slightly out of sight almost, we've got a pack of Duracells. As I said, I'm not going into the details of why we need an extra pack of batteries, but basically they power the servo motor because it's a little bit too much power to expect the poor little Arduino to provide. So let's strip this out of here and look at what we need to do to read fingerprints. So here it is. There's only 4 wires that we're interested in. There's 6 physically come off the connector, but we're not interested in this. We're only interested in the top 4. The very top one is just connecting to your 3.3 volt connection on the Arduino, not your 5 volt 3.3. It's a 3.3 volt device. The second wire coming off here goes to pin 2. The third wire coming off here, so we're going down from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the top one on this connector, your colours on yours may be different, so I'm just going from top to bottom. So the third wire is going to pin 3 of Arduino, and the last wire, the 4th down, is the ground. And it goes to ground. That's it. Really simple. Basically, it's power and ground and a simple software serial interface to be able to communicate with this. So let's have a look at the controlling software. So you can see the style of fingerprint sensor I'm using. You'll find them all over the internet. They're relatively quite cheap. So we need a library to control it. Now I'm going to use the Adafruit library. So if we go up to Tools, Manage Libraries, and we search under Fingerprint. And there we go, the Adafruit fingerprint sensor library by Adafruit. I've obviously already got it installed. That's the one you want. This is version 2.1.0. If you're having problems, when you've copied my examples exactly and you're having problems, make sure you're using the correct version. Well, not the correct, but the version I'm doing. I've had, over the years, several people contact me on YouTube comments saying something doesn't work, and it's because they've watched a video that's a little old now, sometimes years old, and the library's been massively updated and it's changed and it's broken from the code that I've done. So you can always get the old version of the library. So if you are struggling, you think you've done everything right, it's worth checking that you're running the same version as me. So at time of filming, I'm using version 2.1.0 and that's installed. Okay, so we'll just close that down. So once that's installed, you go to your file and examples and down to Adafruit fingerprint sensor library, you'll find there's a lot of examples in here. Now, I've already stored some fingerprints on there and I'm going to show you how to do that, but for now, I want to remove all the fingerprints stored on that sensor. They are not stored on your Arduino. So I'm going to go to delete and I'm going to load up that piece of software and I'm going to upload and run that. So it's uploaded. Everything's done via these serial communications, so we need to open the serial monitor. And we can see we've got some messages up. It's found the fingerprint sensor. Please type in the ID from 1 to 27 of the fingerprint you want to delete. Now I know that I've got 2 fingerprints stored on there in ID 1 and ID 2. We'll talk about the ID numbers shortly. Let's just delete that. Deleted. And then same again, we're going to delete number 2. Deleted. Have I got one in number 3? Well, it says it thinks I have. What if I type in 1 again? So okay, you don't know exactly whether you've got one, but I had at least 2 stored, so I've deleted 2 fingerprints there. Let's go back now to putting new fingerprints on that sensor. So we'll go up to File, Examples, edit it again, and this time we're going to use the sketch called Enroll. And we will upload that to our Arduino. Again, we'll just open up the serial monitor. And it's ready for enrollment. You can see what it's saying. Find the sensor. Ready to enroll the fingerprint. Please type in the ID from 1 to 127. You can store up to 127 fingerprints on this device. So which one do you want to store this fingerprint to? So first of all, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to store it to ID number 1. I'm going to press return. And then it's waiting for a valid finger to be put on the sensor. So I'm going to do that. Put my finger on. Image taken. Take it off. It'll ask you to put it on again. And it has stored it. Second finger. So we'll type in this in ID 2. This time we use my right hand. Image taken. Take it off. Put the finger on again. And there we go. Enrolled under ID 2. So this finger is ID 1. This finger's ID 2. We've got them stored. So let's open my third example, which is looking at the fingerprints that are stored on that